3 people, including a student, have died after a shooting at a California elementary school.
Kelly Elementary School jumped a fence and began firing rounds at children.
It's a 14-year-old boy brought a gun to school in Goddard, a middle school, and shot 4 people.
Former student caught with a loaded, concealed weapon at Goddard High School.
14 children he confirmed have been killed in this shooting, along with a teacher.
The mass shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas, back in May.
1 week has passed since Uvalde changed forever. 21 innocent lives stolen in a mass school shooting.
Robb Elementary School, 2022. On May 24, 2022, a mass shooting occurred at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. The shooter, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, was a former student at the school and fatally shot 19 students and 2 teachers while 17 others were injured but survived.
14 children he confirmed have been killed in this shooting, along with a teacher.
1 hour since the attack began, law enforcement shot Ramos. Robb Elementary School shooting was considered to be one of the most fatal massacres in American history after the Virginia Tech shooting in 2017 and the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in 2012.
The mass shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas, back in May.
The city of Uvalde is predominantly Hispanic, and 90% of Robb Elementary School students were Hispanic. He was frequently bullied at school because of his stutter, short haircuts, and repetitive clothing, all because his family couldn't afford to buy him many clothes. Furthermore, he had no criminal record or documented mental health issues before the shooting. He, however, had searched the term sociopath and received an email about a possible treatment. Due to his frequent absences, school officials at Uvalde High School expelled him on October 28, 2021. Ramos began posting pictures of his semi-automatic rifles on Instagram at about a year before the shooting. His friend claims he used to drive around at night with another friend, shooting random people with a BB gun and egging cars. Reports say that Ramos moved out of his mother's house and into his grandparents' house 2 months before the shooting after an argument with his mother over her turning off the Wi-Fi. Ramos asked his older sister to buy him a weapon in September 2021, but she refused. Exactly the day after his birthday, he legally purchased a semi-automatic rifle from a local gun store, followed by another purchase. Investigators later discovered that his weapon had a Hellfire trigger device, which reduced the time required for the trigger to reset, increasing the possible rate of fire. The shooting was a series of unplanned events by Ramos. At 11 in the morning, he shot his grandmother and took her truck to drive towards Robb Elementary School. She survived the shot after a few weeks. 30 minutes later, he ditched the truck near the school and opened fire at 2 men, who were fortunately uninjured. They immediately called 911, but Ramos was already on his way to the premises of Robb Elementary School and fired at the classrooms and hallways. By this time, the police had already arrived, only carrying pistols as opposed to Ramos carrying an AR-15 and multiple ammunition. They called for extra help from the police and surrounded the school with policemen who were all waiting for the right moment to attack Ramos. While at it, Ramos hunted individuals in the area and had already claimed a handful of lives. 18 individuals were wounded, including 14 children, 1 educator, the perpetrator's grandmother, and 2 police officers. 2 officers were hit by bullets but sustained no significant harm. Multiple victims sadly passed away during transportation to the hospital. Reports confirmed that 11 children and 3 others were admitted for immediate medical attention after the shooting. 4 individuals were discharged, while 2 unidentified victims were deceased upon arrival. By 12:50 p.m., Ramos had slain 21 individuals and severely injured 17 others, and the police finally got a good angle at him and fatally shot him. Because of this, Ramos wasn't tried and couldn't face the consequences of his crimes. Many families were left in a devastating state that they can never forget.
21 innocent lives stolen in a mass school shooting.
Goddard Junior High School, 1985. On May 21, 1999, a 14-year-old James Allen Kirby opened fire at Goddard Junior High School in Paducah, Kentucky. Kirby took the lives of 3 students and wounded 5 others before turning the gun on himself, avoiding any sort of accountability.
It's a 14-year-old boy brought a gun to school in Goddard, a middle school, and shot 4 people.
Carneal had a history of mental health problems and had been bullied at school. He had also been prescribed medication for depression and anxiety. The shooting happened at around 11 a.m. Kirby walked into the school carrying a pistol and a rifle. He attacked his teacher, the school principal, followed by another teacher and a student.
14 years old, went into the school with a semi-automatic rifle and a handgun and shot 4 people.
After about 90 minutes, an officer noticed a boy carrying a rifle walking through a field in a residential area near the school. The officer approached Kirby, and the boy surrendered immediately. Principal Jim McGee, who was 45 years old at the time, passed on during surgery for a chest wound at a Wichita medical center. Everyone wanted to know the boy's possible intent in the shooting, but the police remained silent. Surely, there's no reason behind it. Nothing sensible, to say the least. According to his teacher, Mr. Harris, whom Kirby attacked, Kirby was a greatly intelligent boy, but was an underachiever because he didn't prioritize studying. He also
Former student caught with a loaded concealed weapon at Goddard High School.
liked to be alone and didn't seem bothered by the lack of relationships at school. When Harris saw Kirby holding his rifle at hand, the boy had to kneel to aim at him. Harris's thoughts were, "I looked down the barrel of that gun and I thought, this can't be real." But it was, and the boy shot him. Teacher Harris and student Daniel Williams, 14, were hospitalized in fair and good condition, respectively. He was charged with first-degree murder on January 23, 1985. He was a juvenile offender then, and under Kansas law, he will have to be tried and imprisoned until he turns 21.
James Allen Kirby spent the next 7 years of his life behind bars.
Bishop Neumann High School, 2001. On April 2001, Elizabeth Bush shot 13-year-old Kimberly Marchese, her classmate at Bishop Neumann Junior Senior High School. The community of Williamsport, Pennsylvania was caught in turmoil after hearing the news. Bush admitted that she used a revolver to target her classmate, although she originally intended to shoot herself and show her bullies how much it hurts to be mocked by them. When asked what changed her mind, she said she didn't know and that it just happened. She just wanted to scare her a little bit. Marchese suffered a wounded arm after the shooting. To Bush's parents' defense, the girl had been depressed a couple of weeks prior to the shooting. She says that she was often teased by other students in Bishop Neumann, where she recently transferred. The suspect faces charges of criminal intent homicide, aggravated assault, simple assault, recklessly endangering another person, bringing a weapon onto school property, and carrying a firearm without a license, according to Williamsport Police. The girl will remain in juvenile detention until a preliminary hearing, according to District Attorney Marino. Marino stated that the suspect's school records will be reviewed in addition to psychological testing. According to Marino, the test results will determine whether the girl is tried as an adult or a juvenile. But the victim's father said he wouldn't want her to be tried as an adult. He knew what she did was wrong, but he didn't want her to live with it for the rest of her life. Bush spent years under psychiatric treatment and counseling services until she turned 21 years old. Kelly Elementary School, 2010. In October 2010, a 41-year-old man attacked African-American 6- and 7-year-old children at Kelly Elementary School in Carlsbad, California. O'Rourke was licensed to be a security guard in California, though he was not working as one. He was working for a telemarketing company and had no previous criminal record, the police chief said. The deranged man, Brendan O'Rourke, approached the 2 girls playing on the grass by the playground and opened fire at them. One of the victims said that he was yelling at them and saying things they couldn't understand.
3 people, including a student, have died after a shooting at a California elementary school.
The girls proceeded to walk away, and that's when the man fired his shots at them. The little girls thought the loud noises were from an earthquake, and the man fired more shots until he hit both girls in the arm. Both the girls testified against the man and said that the shots hurt more than scraping one's arm on the ground, an experience that no child should go through. Authorities said O'Rourke jumped a fence onto Carlsbad campus and fired 6 rounds from a .357 Magnum revolver. Besides that weapon, O'Rourke brought matches, a can of gasoline, extra bullets, and several barrels for quick reloading of the revolver, according to prosecutors. The suspected shooter also left a propane tank outside his car, they said. According to the prosecution, the attack might have claimed more lives if the bullet casing hadn't become jammed in the revolver's chamber. As the gunman struggled to reload, 3 construction workers, one of whom testified Monday, chased him out of the school before he fired again. The reason for the shooting, which appeared to be a random attack, remains unknown. But one thing is for sure. The man likely suffered mentally and lacked the morality and justification upon doing the spree. On cross-examination, Fran Hartzler, an employee who monitored children at lunch, testified that the gunman was yelling about shooting and ex-President Obama. He also stated that the man said, These are not real bullets. This is just a drill. Hartzler said she caught a glimpse of the chaos and locked up the church area where she was with a handful of children who could not run, including some in wheelchairs. Children dove under tables, she said. The second shooting victim, who was 6 years old at the time, claimed to be playing with friends when she saw a guy with a gun. "He shot me on my arm," the child explained. "It began to bleed. I started running." One 8-year-old boy said he was playing on a jungle gym when he heard a bang, bang, and pop, because it hit the playset. "It was right beside me, making an extremely loud noise." He said that everything vibrated and it hurt his ears. He said the bullet struck about 2 feet away from him. According to the boy, he turned and saw a man with a gun running toward him. He didn't know what to do, so he ran as fast as he could as he heard the screams of other children. O'Rourke was sentenced to 189 years in prison during the court ruling. He was very emotional when he heard how much time he would spend in prison for his horrible crimes.